Believing in yourself gives you a chance to become the greatest version of yourself, but overconfidence does the opposite. And there's actually a fine line between the two. Confidence is saying, I can do it. Overconfidence is saying, only I can do it. Overconfidence holds you back and keeps you stuck in the cycle of poor decisions. And in this video, we're going over 10 ways overconfidence is holding you back. Welcome to Alux. Number 1, you take too much risk. Overconfident people believe they're more capable than others just because that's what their ego told them. They take on way too much risk and put themselves constantly in tricky situations just because, hey, they're smart and they'll figure it out. That's how you get people effectively gambling away their entire life savings in investments they don't really understand. But hey, they listen to a podcast about it. There are only 2 kinds of people who take way more risk than they can handle: desperate people and overconfident people. Both are bad. We've seen time and time again how people think that they can handle way more than they actually can. They take on too many projects, they make too many promises, and in the end, everything crumbles. When you're overconfident, you tend to make stupid, avoidable mistakes. Statistically speaking, when you're 100% sure, you're only about 80% right. That 20% is overconfidence. Number 2, even when you're wrong, you're right. Overconfident people have a hard time accepting that they're wrong. They will spin the situation on every side until they find an angle that will make them look smart. It's not that they're wrong, but somebody else was wrong too, so it's not their fault. Now, this also makes them incredibly difficult to argue with and a pain to be around. They take all the responsibility, and when it turns out they can't actually handle it, well, they blame somebody else. They think it's impossible for them to be wrong, so clearly something else must be at play here. Nothing scares them more than someone unmasking their mediocrity. They'll do anything to put themselves in the best light possible. If someone challenges them directly, their first instinct is to say, "Sure, but just so you know, I'm very tired today," because they need something to fall back on just in case they lose. An overconfident person needs justification for why they didn't perform well that day, and they want everyone to be aware of it. If they don't win, they want everybody else to lose too. Number 3, you decide you're right. Overconfident people don't get informed, they become informed. Once their opinions are formed, there's no changing them. They'll say things like, "Say what you will, it won't change my mind." Or they'll interrupt others, assuming they already know what they're about to say. And when you do this, you multiply your blind spots. Your vision gets clouded with your own version of reality, and you become a victim of your own mind. You'll go far and even get into arguments to prove that you're right. Number 4, you hide mediocrity beneath it. When you haven't achieved a whole lot in your life, the only way to keep appearances up is to be loud and overconfident. You assume no one's going to challenge you if you're being so loud about it. After all, who would have the guts to bluff this hard as you do? No one will ever know. But they do. Some people get too attached to their overconfidence and they don't want to let it go. You built up this character who appears to be good at everything, and you don't want people to find out the truth. But the only thing you're doing is delaying the inevitable. Number 5, if you don't know, you assume. You don't take the time to learn what's really happening. You're just assuming and taking it as a fact. This happens often when people skip the fundamentals. They believe they already know how things are done. They don't need the tutorial. That's for amateurs. One of the most damaging things that overconfident people tend to do is glancing over the foundation. They don't take it seriously. They believe they'll just learn everything on the fly. And sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. And when that happens, you'll be back to square one. Number 6, you believe only you can do it. You have the anime protagonist syndrome. You believe you're the chosen one, and with the right soundtrack, you can achieve anything. Everyone else shouldn't even bother you. You have to do it. You must do it. They don't stand a chance. Your favorite quote is, if you need something done right, you gotta do it yourself. And not only that, but you act like you already did, and people just don't know it yet. You value yourself based on imaginary potential. And this goes hand in hand with having low emotional intelligence, something we talked about last week. Overconfidence and the lack of emotional intelligence is one of the most damaging combos anyone can have. And one way to boost your emotional intelligence is to download the Alux app. We share daily lessons every single day, ranging across a wide variety of personal topics. And one of those topics is boosting your EQ. For the price of a coffee and a sandwich once a month, you're getting access to these daily lessons, as well as our premium learning packs. We release a new one every month. We've got weekly wisdom stories, sleep stories, and so much more that you will definitely benefit and level up your life. So go to Alux.com/app and get your journey started. Number 7, you're the main character in every conversation. You believe everyone is fascinated by how awesome you are. You think all they want to do is hear you speak and learn from your vast wisdom. So you take every opportunity to make yourself the main character and show the world how bright you are. You make every conversation about yourself. You constantly one-up people. You can't wait to say, "Oh, if you think that's crazy, wait until I tell you what I did." You truly believe people actually want to listen to you, and when you talk, it's like giving them a gift or something. And if someone even dares to talk over you, you'll mark them as an enemy for life. Number 8, you become a Karen. If you experience any slight discomfort or inconvenience, your first instinct is to talk to the manager. They clearly don't know how important you are, or else they wouldn't give you their full attention. Overconfidence makes you believe you're way more important than you actually are. You believe people should treat you with the utmost respect just because you exist. You become easily offended, and you want people to walk on eggshells around you. You even take pride when people would rather let you have your way because they don't want to deal with your outburst. But that doesn't mean you're important, it means you're a selfish toddler. Number 9, you use actually to dismiss others. When you encounter someone just as good as you are, you say things like, "Hey, that's actually decent." But what you're really saying here is, "I don't know how you pulled it off, you probably got lucky." You take direct offense when someone does something you thought only you were capable of. You quickly try to belittle them to keep your imaginary crown. You think that if someone else gets close to your level, you won't be special anymore. And you need to feel special. So you end up patronizing everyone around you like they're nothing and only you can see the full picture. Number 10, you always have something to say. You just don't know when to shut up and listen. You believe you should give your unrequired opinion about every topic, regardless of whether or not you actually know anything here. You also love to give life advice. You often talk about how you did things and how well it worked out for you. And if someone doesn't take your advice, hey, that only means that they're not ready to face reality. Now, Aluxer, we hope you learned something valuable here today. Overconfidence, it can be a great tool to give you that extra push, but most of the time, it goes the other way around. It holds you back from becoming a better version of yourself because you end up believing you already are. So if you find yourself being a bit too confident, then take a step back and reevaluate yourself. Maybe you'll end up learning a thing or two. And for those of you who always stay with us until the very end, of course, we've got a bonus. Overconfidence is like driving a supercar with no brakes. Do you know why race drivers are so fast? Well, it's not because of how good they are at accelerating, it's how good they are at braking. Everybody can drive fast in a straight line. But as you know, nothing is ever really a straight line. We'll see you back here tomorrow, Aluxer, for the Sunday motivational video.